everyone and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my brand new video. Yes, there's finally another video on this channel. I know I said that I was going to start trying to do them more regularly, but I want to do them well, so that takes a little bit of time. I have restarted my non-art channel, so if you want to go see what videos I'm making over there, it's all kind of like TV and film based. I'll leave the link in the description box below so you can go check that out. But for today's video, I'm just gonna try and give you some sort of like a tutorial as to how to draw a realistic mouth. We're just gonna get started and hopefully you find it helpful and enjoy it. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do when trying to draw a realistic mouth, which is something that I always tend to struggle with myself personally, I never fully take the time to do this stage well. But you want to make sure that your drawing is drawn out as accurately as possible, because obviously if the drawing isn't accurate and you start colouring it, then you're obviously straight away going to run into issues there. So as you can see here, for probably one of the first times in my life, I'm actually probably properly drawing it all out as accurately as possible, and I'm even drawing in like where all the shadow and highlight areas are as well. That's just as important because obviously you really want to be able to distinguish where each colour is going. I also had to make myself a little coloured pencil chart because I hadn't actually done that yet with my set of coloured pencils. So I made a swatch chart so that I could see accurately what colour was what, because sometimes the colour of the barrel is not always the same as the colour of what comes out of the pencil, of the pigment. So yeah, I would highly recommend doing that first as well. But then once I've drawn out the outline, as you can see here, I am starting to colour in. I started with the darkest section with the black, because I thought that's nice and straightforward. I mean, you can do this in whatever order you want. Realistically, I probably could have done the black last, but by that point I hadn't finished my coloured chart anyway, so I wanted to start with what I knew would go where. So yeah, then I just do a light layer of the basic lightest colour that I can see in it all over where those areas of that colour are. So obviously this one, the lightest areas were a very, very, very pale pink, like close to white. So I did a light layer of that all over, and I went a bit darker and pressed a bit hard with the pencil in some areas where it needed to be more pigment. And then I actually noticed that on my reference image there was hints of like red and like reddishy brown kind of maroon colours as well. So I added pops of those in where they needed to be, and obviously here I'm doing a lot of the darker shadows as well. I feel like it really helped the fact that I drew this mouth a lot bigger, because you can really see all those tiny details then that you need to get drawn. And then obviously for the teeth, as I'm doing here, they were just like quite grey, because obviously you've got different shadows on them, so they're never, although they in theory are white, they never appear it on the image. And obviously it's really important to keep checking your reference image as well to see where all your shadows and highlights and everything are, so you can make it as accurate as possible. I still think that some of my blending could have been a bit better by the end of this, but as a whole, generally it's a lot of back and forth, layering the colour, sort of gradually deepening everything as and when you get there. It's very important to just start off with light pressure and then build and work up to deeper pressure as you go. Obviously some areas that are like pretty much black, you know, you can go quite heavy-handed with, I suppose, because that's just, you need it to be as dark a pigment as you can get. But yeah, lots of layer in different colours to get the desired colour and effect that you're after, and trying to like make sure that the blend between colours looks realistic as well and not just like a harsh line. Like that was something that I definitely struggled with this piece, was that once I had sort of gone in with heavier shadows, I was then like, oh, but it doesn't blend to the pink very well because the pink around it is very light. So I had to go back and do like more light-handed blending back and forth between the two colours, and I think I got the desired effect okay. Like, I'm really happy with how this one turned out. If you want to know what reference image I used, it's by someone on Instagram called, I think, Vlada MUA. I'm not very sure if I pronounced that right. I'm not very good with pronunciation in general anyway. But I'll try and pop a picture of her Instagram on screen along with the reference image that I used, just in case any of you want to use the same ones. But yeah, so anyway, back to what I was saying. Lots of layering, colours, adding more layers to deepen the colours, and then at the end I actually, here, as you can see, I grabbed my Posca pens. Well, these ones aren't really Posca, but it's the same effect. My paint pens to add in more of like the highlights and things so that it popped a bit more, because obviously you really want that contrast to make it look realistic. And I think these lips were meant to look kind of like glittery and metallic. So that was it for my drawing a realistic mouth sort of tutorial video kind of thing. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you, if you did draw along with me, then please tag me in any photos on like Instagram or anything, because I'd love to see them. And yeah, hopefully I will see you all very soon for my next video.